That's under the impression that if Jay wins, he's going to challenge Cody.
He's not challenging Roman yet.
You don't know yet. I think that there. So here's the thing.
We don't know, but we know.
So I don't know. Welcome to the Lariat Lounge. This is the home of smart takes, hard hits, and real talk. I'm your host, Everson Godfrey, co-host Andrew Skeens. Skeener, I think we are about to have a new WWE champion. I think it's going down on SmackDown.
Yeah, you think?
I do.
I was talking to one of my buddies today, and I told him he has become disenchanted a little bit with Gunther. And I told him he was lucky that that son-in-law's booking now, because Vince definitely would have had Raheem losing on Juneteenth for sure. So,
listen, you know. I think Raheem is losing on Juneteenth. I think he's going to drop the title to Gunther tonight, but I think that's setting up for a triple threat with Sammy and Gunther, probably at, what is the next PLE? Is it Night of Champions?
Yep, next Saturday.
I think it's setting up for a triple threat with Sammy and Gunther at Night of Champions, which may or may not get resolved come SummerSlam, because we don't know who is going to be winning the Men's King of the Ring. We've had developments since last week.
We have one half of the final set.
Yeah, and we're going to find out the latter half tonight on SmackDown. If you didn't know, we're recording on a Friday because I was out of town this week. My nephew got married. It was a pretty awesome occasion, and traffic on the way back was god-awful. So we got back way later than expected. So Skeeter and I pushed things back. We're on the eve of SmackDown. But hey, we're going to have a nice, clean, tight episode for you tonight. So let's jump into this. Skeeter, please let everyone know where it is that they can tune in to this podcast, the one that you are currently listening to now, everybody, the Lariat Lounge.
The Lariat Lounge, we're coming at you once a week, every week. Find us on YouTube. Search the Lariat Lounge. That's where you'll find us, all the episodes in video and audio format, all the past episodes. That's where you'll catch us live next Saturday for our Night of Champions live stream. That's where all the past live streams are. Give us a follow on Instagram at the Lariat Lounge Podcast. That's where you can follow us, get updates on the show, interact with us in the DMs, get the links, and know when we're going live for all our live streams. You can still find the audio version of the podcast on all your favorite platforms, wherever you get your shows, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere like that. That's where you'll find us. We're over on Pro Wrestling Tees. Get your merch. Search the Lariat Lounge. You'll find us. We got 7 great t-shirts up there now, including a brand new one that just dropped that you could see in the background there with Everson. That design on a shirt, my favorite, my personal favorite. So go get you one of those. And as always, feel free to send us an email at thelariatlounge@gmail.com.
Guys, we really do appreciate it. I was waiting for payday, but now that payday is here, I'm about to order that t-shirt because I would like to have that t-shirt hopefully by SummerSlam. Because that is genuinely my favorite t-shirt, and I'm trying to figure out a reason to wear it to work. I'm struggling, but we'll see if we can make it happen because I want my coworkers to see just how awesome that shirt is. But we do appreciate you guys tuning in, catching up with us. My brother was just talking about how he hasn't caught up in the last week or so. So this is going to be a good recap for you, bro. We're about to get into the build up to SummerSlam, going through Night of Champions and into the biggest party of the summer. So let's get us all caught up to where we are with the King of the Ring tournament, what happened on SmackDown and on Raw. Enough with the fluff. Let's get to the stuff. So, as we already kind of led with, Gunther is going to be challenging Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship tonight on SmackDown. Now, this is preceded by the interactions that have been happening between Cody and Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn and Cody have kind of been butting heads here and there in the backstage segments for some months now. And it kind of came to a head last Friday where Cody has some words for Sami. Sami has some words for Cody. Cody ends up really disrespecting Sami, which, by the way, for a babyface, Cody be getting in some like real low blows on people who are supposed to be his so-called friends. And Sammy slapped him, which I don't blame you. That was kind of messed up what he said. It's kind of messed up what he said. Sammy immediately takes it back, but Cody, who's now pissed off because he got slapped, even though you should have known you had that coming, slaps Sammy back, asks if they're good. Sammy hops out of the ring, grabs the chair, looks like he's about to go to Chair Town on Cody, but then he drops a chair. He decides to leave. This is all that Gunther needed to see to implement what he now deems as the most ideal special stipulation for this match. That the special guest referee will be none other than the completely non-biased Sami Zayn for tonight's match. This is the reason why I have every suspicion that Cody is going to drop that title tonight to Gunther. Maybe it's intentional. Maybe it's supposed to look like it was unintentional, but it ends up happening, which stirs the pot further between Sammy and Cody. Because honestly, Skeener, I can't see a world where Sammy plays this straight. I can't see how, if Gunther loses, how do you continue to keep Sammy tied into this story? You know what I'm saying?
I just don't know. I just don't know what happens to Gunther if he loses this again. With it stacked in his favor, with the last real good guy reffing on his behalf. So
yeah,
but yeah, you're right. I mean, obviously, in a special guest referee match, the special guest referee will be playing a large part in the finish. That is no shocking development or great prediction by us. If you've watched wrestling before, you know what's coming. But I am interested to see in how Sammy will factor in, because like you recapped, we had that exchange of slaps last week and a great segment, and we'll see where it goes. But I think this is a great spot for Sammy, to be honest. He stands to gain a lot. We'll see. Here tonight. The show starts in not too long here from when we're recording this, so we will see what happens in our commercial-free title match, as they promised us.
And that's the thing, right? So Sammy alluded to in this promo with Cody how, 1 week Sammy doesn't help Cody. Cody gets jumped, right? Sammy helps Cody the next week, and what does Sammy get for his troubles? He gets knocked down by Cody. I can't see how, and I agree with you 1,000%. Gunther, I don't see how he recovers in this feud per se if he just loses in a title match on SmackDown prior to the PLE, right, to Cody with all of this stacked in his favor. Particularly because I'm hard pressed to think that Sammy is not going to do the try to play it straight, try to play it down the middle, and tensions are going to run high. Sammy's probably going to get bumped, probably by Cody, by way of Gunther, and the tensions are going to flare. And Sammy is either going to have to do the right thing, or he's going to get pissed off and he's going to do the wrong thing. And I can't just see how Cody ends up winning because Sammy decides to do the right thing. I could just remove Sammy from the equation unless Cody decides to give him a championship match, but then Gunther's out, right? And the Gunther's whole thing, the whole reason why he's in this rematch with Cody in the first place is because he lost to Cody and he felt like he got gypped out of that title win, even though he did have a rightful claim to the fact that his foot was underneath the rope, right? So he's already getting his rebound back right here. So I can't see how he goes and takes another L going into Night of Champions, knowing that whoever wins the men's King of the Ring is going to get a title shot of their choosing. Now, we already know. Well, actually, we don't. I was going to say we already know that they're going to challenge Roman, but they may not. They may not, because that...
What? Yeah, I mean, so we're down to it's Oba against the winner of Jay and Javon. And if we still think that Brock is going to cost Oba, then it's Jay. And do we think Jay is going to challenge Roman? I don't think so. I think it may be Jay and Cody then.
It very well could be. It could be Jay and Cody, which...
Because if we still think Brock is involved in costing Oba King of the Ring, then I don't see another option.
Yeah.
Unless you're just going to have Javon take a loss to one of them.
So, all right. So Javon and Jay are tonight. let's just run the scenarios here, right? So let's say Javon beats Jay. There has got to be some sort of interference here, probably some LA Knight interference that would cost Jay this match, right? Which means if it costs Jay the match, and Javon goes over, I have no reason to suspect that if we have a Brock sighting, it's going to be in Saudi. It's going to be in Saudi at Night of Champions to cost Oba in the finals, which would then mean you've got Javon Evans winning King of the Ring. And then who does Javon challenge that you're reasonably going to suspect that Javon at this point in his career is going to beat Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes for the championship? I just don't think WWE is even going to set that up.
Right. I don't think Javon Evans is winning King of the Ring. So you have to assume Jay is winning this match. And then again, I think we're both sold on the idea that Brock costs Oba.
Yep.
Then
Jay wins.
Then, yeah, by default, Jay's winning. And I don't think Jay's facing Roman. So I think King of the Ring winner is going to face Cody. Because at this point, I think it's going to be Jay.
So here's my only thing. So I have a sneaking suspicion that Cody is going to be defending the WWE Championship at SummerSlam.
Well, I mean, I guess we're assuming it's Cody that's way. I guess in that scenario.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm assuming Cody, but it may very well not be Cody. It may be Gunther. It may be Sami Zayn. Who knows?
Well, no, so right. So now here's the thing. So my thought is that Gunther beats Cody tonight. Gunther walks out of SmackDown as the WWE champion. This spurs further animosity and tension between Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes. I think we end up with a triple threat match for the WWE championship. You could do it at Night of Champions, but if it was me, if you're intending on putting the title back on Cody, I think you do it at SummerSlam. You let Gunther hold that title through King of the Ring. So maybe you do a one-on-one match.
Then is it a fatal four-way?
Okay, so here's the thing.
Because King of the Ring is getting their title match at SummerSlam.
Right.
So
but that's under the impression that if Jay wins, he's going to challenge Cody.
He's not challenging Roman yet.
You don't know that. I think that there. So here's the thing.
Know, but we know.
So I don't know. I don't know because I have yet to get to the bloodline side of this theory, right? So my suspicion, this is just my theory, right, is that Jay wins King of the Ring. I think that Cody drops the WWE Championship tonight to Gunther. I think you get a blow off between Cody and Sami at Night of Champions, okay? Or they both sit it out and you only have championship matches at Night of Champions, right? Because you're going to have the finals. You're going to have the championship match. You're going to have the finals of the King of the Ring and the Queen of the Ring there. You may have the other titles defended. That's typically what they do at Night of Champions, right? They're title matches. So if Cody drops the title to Gunther, he and Sami may sit that out, right? I think you use that time to build to a triple threat between Cody, Sami, and Gunther at SummerSlam for the WWE Championship. Now, this leaves the winner of the King of the Ring, and Roman thinks that Jay is going to insert himself into that fatal four-way. I'm not so sure. We have been hinting at on Raw the idea that Roman is actually favoring Jacob over the Usos. That
we did start that this week. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We're getting this idea that Roman may be favoring Jacob over the Usos. We also got the play that Jay and Jimmy, feeling empowered by Roman, having everyone acknowledge them and that this is a different bloodline, right? Feel like they're all equals. But we also got hinted at the fact that though Roman claims they're all equals, Roman is still the head of the table. He's still calling the plays. He can call the audibles too if he wants to. So that's what Jimmy and Jay brought to him, right? That like, we had a play. What's going on? And then Roman's like, I called an audible, right? Mm-hmm. So my thought is that Jay, feeling like they're equals, calls an audible. He calls an audible, and he calls an audible, and he challenges Roman for the WWE Championship. Jimmy is in Jay's corner. Jacob is standing with Roman. Now, I say this because I'm also considering the Solo Sikoa aspect of this, right? And I'm considering the Royce Keys aspect of this. So Solo is trying to sell Royce on the idea that the Jacob ain't here no more. That he's with Roman now. That he's bent the knee and he's with Roman because he's trying to convince Royce to join MFT, right? So what better way than to have Jacob stand in Roman's corner or back Roman in this match against Jay for the title? Now, does this mean that Jay is going to win? No. I don't think Jay is going to win the title off of Roman, but I think he's going to challenge Roman because I think Roman stays the champion. I think Roman stays the world heavyweight champion through WrestleMania, at least, right? So he's going to lose to Jay, but I think this is going to throw a very different dynamic into the bloodline, right? Where Jay feels like he's operating as equals. He can call audibles too. Roman doesn't like being challenged that way. And so now he's sending secret orders to Jacob to do his bidding, right? To bring the Usos back in line where they should be. That's just my thought. I could go further with the spectating.
Okay. In that angle, I see that if they're going to expedite that.
I don't because I think we've already done it.
Makes sense. I mean, yeah, we definitely are setting up for some bloodline tension given what we saw Monday, and Roman not reprimanding Jacob, but instead welcoming him fully to the bloodline, even after his speech when he said that everyone was bloodline already.
True.
Which got me confused. I was like, well, if that was bloodline and Jacob bloodline, well, regardless, Jacob was welcomed, got his own Ulafala. They had what I thought was a great segment involving Eric Andre.
Oh, yeah, it was awesome.
And just the fact that Roman was going to stop Jacob at first, and then he was like, you know what, just go ahead. And Roman just testing and I guess seeing that he now has the full loyalty and control over Jacob, that Jacob has fully acknowledged him, and that the rabid werewolf will heal when his tribal chief tells him to, and he will also go crazy and kill when the tribal chief wants him to. So I thought that was good and symbolically what it meant and what I was just talking about. And you're right, the intrigue of what's this secret order that he whispered to Jacob?
Right. I didn't even get to that part. Yeah.
Yeah. Later in the show, Chief whispers something to Jacob and we don't know what it is. So that's our carrot to tune into the next episode of the longest running weekly episodic television show in history.
That is what they say.
Yeah.
That is what they say. I'd forgotten about I hadn't forgotten about it, but I hadn't gotten to that part. But yeah, the secret whisper. What is he having Jacob do? Right? It's interesting, the idea that the whole Jacob scene with Roman and Eric Andre was very reminiscent of old school bloodline. Right? And I feel like we're getting this running theme here with Roman. I think in Roman's mind, this is a different bloodline. I think that this is a bloodline where he acknowledges Jay and he acknowledges Jimmy, right? That they are equals. And I think that it was purposeful why, before he presented that Ulafala to Jacob and introduce and welcome him into the bloodline, that he didn't acknowledge Jacob. And he's never stated that Jay has to accept Jacob because he's allowing Jay to be Jay and he's allowing Jimmy to be Jimmy. He's looking at them more like equals. He doesn't look at Jacob as an equal. Jacob does not acknowledge Jay or Jimmy. He only acknowledges Roman. And so Roman, I think, is doing what Roman does, which is he is using Jacob because Jacob acknowledges him. Right? And because he's using Jacob in such a way, he's clearly circumventing what the bloodline as a collective decides to do whenever Roman deems it necessary. So I'm wondering, I don't know, because that would require me to know who's going to win this match tonight. And
right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Jay. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Jay because I don't see Javon.
But you were right, because like there's the LA Knight angle.
Yeah. How does he play into this? I wonder if Roman has Jacob maybe take out LA Knight. Maybe he has him take out LA Knight to try and ensure Jay getting into the finals, with the expectation that Jay is going to challenge Cody and bring all the gold back to the bloodline. But I don't know. It's intriguing because it could go other ways. I guess I just don't see what story you build, which is not to say they don't have it. They don't have a story in mind. But I personally cannot see what story you build if Jay goes to challenge Cody. I mean,
but we don't even know if it's going to be Cody. It could be Jay against Gunther again. I think there are ways with every angle. I think we can just agree that we do not think Javon Evans will be King of the Ring.
Sadly, yeah. It's not.
Even if he were to win, I think then him getting the win because of Brock doesn't really make sense because Javon ain't winning the title at SummerSlam.
No,
and then if Brock weren't to get involved and Oba does win King of the Ring, what purpose does it serve Javon Evans at this point to just get steamrolled by Gunther, or not by Gunther, by Oba Femi?
Yeah, I mean, look, Brock. I think at this point, because we've had Oba mentioning Brock on every instant that he's been in the ring in front of the camera for the last couple weeks, I think it's a pretty safe bet to assume.
Did he this week? Oh yeah, he called himself the Beast Slayer.
Yes, I think it is a safe bet that we are going to get a Brock Lesnar sighting in Saudi Arabia. That check is going to be big enough, and I think he'll show up to cost Oba the King of the Ring finals. But I agree with you 1,000%. As much as I love Javon, I do not see a world right now where Javon is going to be placed in one of the co-main events of the 2-night SummerSlam. Yeah. I don't see that yet. And to get steamrolled by Roman or Gunther or Cody, I don't see that. So unfortunately, I think he's going to lose to Jay tonight. And I genuinely think that Roman is going to send Jacob out there to ensure that Jay wins. And I don't know if that's going to piss Jay off because that wasn't the play. And Roman made a call for the betterment of the family. We'll see. I mean, it's literally under 2 hours away that we're going to find out what happens tonight, which will set the stage for
under 1 hour away.
Oh, I didn't even realize what time it was. I ain't even looking at no clock.
Yeah. So I will. I definitely thought the Bloodline stuff was the highlight of the night, at least for me on Monday.
Yeah.
Especially all the different things that opening did, which is kind of, okay, Jacob's now officially part of it. Roman is accepting of Jacob. Now the Usos are wary of what Roman's doing without telling them. And then the Roman realizing he has control over this monster in Jacob.
Yeah.
So I thought all that stuff was great.
I'll tell you what I did think was super great on Raw. And it sucks because I love EO, but I think that this was the wrong call. I think this was the wrong call for who went over in this round of the Queen of the Ring tournament. I feel like the stronger story that you tell is Raquel going on to win Queen of the Ring. And then who does she possibly challenge? Possibly Liv. But with Raquel out now, you've got Liv and Charlotte tonight. Mm-hmm. And the winner will go on to the finals, who we will find out, I guess, who the other competitor in the finals will be, on Monday? Or do we already know who who's on the other side of the bracket for the women?
It's Io.
Oh, okay.
Io will face the winner of Liv and Charlotte.
Okay. So, yeah, unless Charlotte wins. Have we seen Io versus Charlotte?
I mean, I'm sure we have, right?
Probably. I can't see at this point I don't know, like Liv winning this thing would put Io versus Liv. Liv is already the women's world champion, which unless she is a self-fulfilling prophecy and she beats Io and challenges herself at SummerSlam, I would think that Io would beat Liv, and then we have Io back in the world title picture, which then, I don't know, you got Liv as the women's world champion, and our current WWE Women's Champion is out injured with a knee injury. So it seems like unless Rhea Ripley makes a return soon, does she vacate the title, or does the winner of the Queen of the Ring tournament by default challenge Liv? Because I'm feeling like I feel like if by default you challenge Liv, I don't know, man. I feel like WWE missed the opportunity here to push the Judgment Day stuff forward. If Liv is going to be the champion that's being challenged, I feel like you missed an opportunity. But I don't know if we've seen Charlotte and Io. Will you get that in Saudi? Does Charlotte go over? Does Io go over?
I think we're heading towards Charlotte and Rhea. So
yeah,
I would think so. That is the most logical thing for me.
It's got the most build with regards to their interactions.
And maybe you still get to the Judgment Day stuff through a mishap in this match tonight that can cost Liv the match.
Yeah. You could get there with that.
Some botched interference or something. But yeah, I do agree that I think the more interesting finals would have been like Liv versus Raquel.
Yeah, like unless WWE expedites the falling out of the Judgment Day, which I would not be mad at this point, right? I like your idea that there's some botched interference and it cost Liv but then again, what does Liv have to lose by losing the match? I guess she's eliminating the potential for contenders, right? Because if she wins, then it removes the ability for somebody to win Queen of the Ring and challenge her. So It leaves that door open there. So yeah, there is that. There is that. That could cause a rift between her and Raquel and Roxanne. You know, it's just, I feel like the sad truth is that the Judgment Day story, I think, has drug on a little longer than it should have. And
it's
WWE
definitely at its lowest right now, I think. So
I agree. I feel like when Finn left the Judgment Day, WWE should have been moving a little bit quicker with regards to what it was that they were putting in play for the Judgment Day's next chapter. And it seemed like they were doing that to an extent with the Raquel stuff and Finn, but I don't know where we're at right now. I was excited to see what the Queen of the Ring tournament was going to be able to do to move this forward. And I felt we've done a little bit, but the second Roxanne went out, I was like, okay, we got to be leaning on Raquel then. And now Raquel's gone out. And when she lost, excuse me, when she lost, did Raquel lose with interference from the Judgment Day? Like, not that they caused her to lose, but did they interfere in the match at all in her loss? I feel like they did. I feel like Liv got...
I honestly don't remember because that was Monday, right? Yeah, that was Monday. I think Roxanne was there. Liv was not. Liv definitely didn't get involved.
Roxanne wrestled Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
And it had nothing to do with Queen in the Ring or anything like that. So... Raquel, I don't know. She didn't wrestle that night.
Who?
Raquel didn't wrestle on Monday.
Yes,
she did. Io Sky defeated. Okay.
Raquel and Io, yeah.
Right. Okay.
That's how Io's in the final.
Let's see. What does this say? Io Sky rose above Raquel Rodriguez with...
I do not think there was interference at all.
Okay, I don't think so either. So Raquel just lost clean. She just lost clean to Io. So... I don't know. I sometimes feel like WWE is hesitant to pull the trigger on Raquel. And I don't know why.
Well, they definitely have been, since there's been no trigger pulling to date. So
yeah, I mean, it seems like they line her up sometimes and she looks really good. And then they just...
because I know we've talked about it and predicted it multiple times. And it
for sure.
Hasn't happened for whatever reason.
For sure. They just hesitant to pull the trigger. And I'm not entirely sure what the deal is, but the good thing about tonight is that we will get some sort of advancement because the Queen in the Ring has to move forward, and Liv is in this match against Charlotte. So the likelihood of Liv winning this match, I don't know, because they're not leaning into any of the other Judgment Day stuff right now. So I feel like I'm in agreement with you that Charlotte is going to beat Liv tonight, and you're going to get Charlotte and Io in the finals, which is going to lead the Judgment Day and whatever it is that they move forward with on the sideline to be figured out on weekly programming leading into SummerSlam. Because I don't think we're going to get anything Judgment Day on Night of Champions. And so it's going to move forward with something at SummerSlam. But there's time then. There's time to build something else up with the Judgment Day going into SummerSlam.
Yeah, because I think Liv will be doing something at SummerSlam.
Oh, I absolutely. You're not going to have your champion sitting on the sideline. And here's the thing. we don't know if Rhea is cleared to go.
Yes, the word last SmackDown was like, we are awaiting evaluation or whatever. They were very careful and vague with their wording, that's for sure.
They were, which honestly, now I'm thinking about it, it reminds me of Seth Rollins when he was faking his injury. And so they may be purposefully vague, because I feel like when people are injured, we typically know pretty quickly what the injury is, and at least we get a time stamp or a time frame of when they may be returning. That happened when Seth really got injured. It happened when Braun got injured. It happened when Bronson Reed got injured. I feel like we get these rundowns pretty quickly, but they didn't give us anything with Rhea. So she may just be biding her time to come back and, you know, keep her off TV a little bit, let her rest up. If she's got a little ding, then maybe she can have some time away to get that taken care of. So, and Oba obviously beat Dominic Mysterio with JD McDonough interference. I mean, dude, you can't build anybody any stronger than Oba. But I swear, I feel like consistently Dominic Mysterio is the character that I feel like WWE understands the best. Like, they know exactly how to position him, exactly how to book him to where he takes a loss like this and he still is Dom. He doesn't feel any weaker or less than because he lost to Oba, because you built Oba right. And Dom is still holding on to this AAA Mega Championship. They position him right in all his promos. He was the perfect heel against Oba in this match, and nothing worked. They pulled out all the stops. He had the ring bell in the boot, and that didn't work either because Oba is just a freaking monster. And God, you gotta love freaking Dominic Mysterio. But yeah, we've spoke about this. Oba is going to lose, I think. Brock's going to cost him the finals. And so the finals are going to be Jay versus Oba, and then Jay's going to go over. And then we'll see what we do with Jay.
That is what I would predict. But that's all banking on the fact that Brock Lesnar shows up. If there is no Brock Lesnar, then Oba Femi's going to win.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. Absolutely. Unless you have bloodline interference. I feel like you could try to pull the numbers game against Oba. I'm not one to... So I think the idea of putting the title on Oba at SummerSlam is not a bad idea. But I'm also not of the mindset that you have to do it super quick. I've seen some people online who are kind of like, you should go ahead and do it. And I get why. But I don't think Oba is going to be an LA Knight. Like, I don't think if you don't pull the trigger on him right away, that he's going to lose that steam. And if you don't wait too long, right? I think you could have him with the title win at SummerSlam. But I also think you could push the title win for Oba into 2027 if you book it right. But I don't think if we go to Brock Lesnar scenario, right, that Oba wins a title in 2026 anyway. So I don't think it would be too much of a stretch to not have him win it if we don't get a Brock sighting. Now, do I think we get a Brock sighting? Absolutely. Oba has done too much talking about Brock for him to not show up. And I genuinely do not think that you have a 2-night SummerSlam. I believe it's the first one ever, right? The first 2-night SummerSlam is this year.
No, it was 2 nights last year.
Oh, it was 2 nights last year. Okay. So I don't think you have SummerSlam, second biggest PLE of the year, in Minnesota. And Brock shows up as a run-in to cost Oba the championship. Like, I feel like that.
But what if Oba wins and Brock isn't involved also in whatever match it is? Because there is no set stipulation that the title match the King of the Ring winner gets has to be a one-on-one match, at least as far as I know.
So you're introducing the idea that that Brock could introduce himself as another combatant in a championship match.
Yeah. I mean, it's not necessarily what I think will happen. But how big is the main event of Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar versus Oba Femi?
I think you would have a bigger draw for a match like that if it was just Oba versus Roman.
Probably.
I think you'd have a bigger draw with that because I think you would run the risk of catching the ire of the people who don't want to see Brock and Roman in the match against each other again. I think 2, the story that they've been telling, despite how many times I thought this has so many ways to go off the rails, they've done a really great storytelling venture with Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. Despite what I thought were some questionable moves, they've made it work. And I like the idea of Oba continually bringing up Brock's name, not letting it go, right? And, calling Brock a bitch on occasions, you know what I'm saying? And that Brock is not going to respond to this. I think that Brock responding to this should stay within the confines of this one-on-one feud with 1-1 on each side. And they need to have a tiebreaker, right? I think Oba needs to get that definitive win back over Brock. And if you bring Brock in a triple threat, I think you just leave an asterisk there for Oba's win. Because I think if you put Oba in a triple threat with Roman and Brock, I think you still pull the trigger on Oba. And I think if you pull the trigger on Oba, then you put an asterisk on his feud with Brock. I think it still needs to stay 1-on-1. And so that's why I feel
which I agree with. I was just presenting like the only way I see out of Brock interferes and costs Oba this match, because it seems pretty foregone at this point that is what it will be happening.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you there. I think that would be the only way you make that work. And I think that WWE would have to jump through more hoops than is necessary to make that happen. And I think Roman's got enough going on as is with his bloodline. And here's the thing, too. There's a big Seth Rollins shaped hole that needs to be filled in this Roman Reigns storyline that I am almost certain we are getting back to. They have not been having these interactions with each other over the last few months for no reason. Now, I don't know if you do this, you probably would save that for Mania. I think you would save that for Mania. I don't see why you would hot shot that into the SummerSlam spot, because though they've been crossing paths, Seth has had a pretty clear, story arc going right now between himself, the Vision, and the inclusion of Montez Ford into this. For them to steer away from that and put Seth squarely in the crosshairs of Roman and vice versa going into SummerSlam, which is in August, and we're damn near in July already. So it seems like that will be a quick turnaround to build to something so big as the clash between the 2 remaining Shield members in WWE. And all that history deserves major WWE video packages. And I feel like you get those at Mania. And I feel like that's what you should build that to. Don't shortchange that. And so with Seth floating around this, I just don't know how you put Oba versus, well, here's the thing. Cody is going to lose tonight.
Maybe. Who knows?
I can't see how Cody doesn't lose tonight. But let's say Cody loses tonight. I feel like he's going to get his title back at SummerSlam. Now, maybe he doesn't. Maybe Gunther beats him somehow. And Gunther is the champion still at SummerSlam, and there's no match for Cody challenging Gunther at SummerSlam, which then opens up the door for whoever the King of the Ring is to challenge Cody. And I will say this, we have also had interactions early on between Oba and Cody. We had those interactions. In fact, didn't Oba wrestle Cody?
Mm-hmm. At John Cena's last match.
Yeah. Did we get it? I don't think we got to finish that match. I feel like something happened. And there was some kind of interference in that match because I don't remember Oba pinning Cody or Cody pinning Oba.
Oh, it was a DQ with Drew. Drew attacked them both, yeah.
So we didn't get a finish to that. So it's possible. But like we said before, in order for that possibility to happen, that would mean Gunther takes an L tonight. Or he carries it and drops it at Night of Champions. Which I don't see why you would give Gunther a less than a month run with the championship only for Cody to win it right back. And you still got the Sami Zayn aspect of this, right? I feel like Sami Zayn has got to be involved in a match with the 3 of them before there is a one-on-one match again between Cody and Gunther, between Gunther and Sami, between Cody and Sami. I think you've got to have that triple threat. in some way, shape, or form. And so that means that you're moving through a program, which means the next program you'd be moving into would be SummerSlam. So I don't know. Roman seems like he's the main one I think will be in the crosshairs here because I genuinely believe that Oba is going to get cheated out of his win for a championship contender spot. And I think it goes to Jay and we get more bloodline storytelling here. But
I'm with you. Ultimately, that is what I am predicting will happen, but not not like we're always right on our predictions. So.
Very true. Very true. So tonight on SmackDown, I believe, I'm looking at the card here. So we get in the U.S. title picture scene, we get Ricky Saints and Carmelo Hayes. And the winner of this match becomes number one contender for Trick Williams' United States Championship match. So the likelihood that this becomes a triple threat is what, Skeener? Your thoughts? Because I'm genuinely thinking that you don't serve an L to either one of them here, or not in a way that doesn't have Trick Williams invite both of them to the dance. Because I don't see how I'm not a super big fan of Ricky Saints, but I feel like he has been handling his own in this feud. And I don't see how you serve him an L to Carmelo to probably have Carmelo challenge Trick for that championship at Night of Champions and not just make this a triple threat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that's the pretty much inevitability at this point. So we'll see. We'll see how the match goes tonight or, here soon in about maybe kick it off the show here in about 20 minutes. So
do you think a Trick has been losing any steam?
Oh, yes, for sure, because he hasn't been as front and center. But I mean, that's inevitable. You have to be able to weather that in a career. But yes, there has been less going on with Trick, seemingly. They haven't had him doing premier stuff, I think. He has not been a focal point of the show like it was with the gingerbread man stuff and things like that. But I do not think he's losing popularity, but steam, yes, for sure. For sure. We haven't seen as much of him doing as memorable stuff as he was with Sammy, I will say. That doesn't mean it's not good, but it's different.
I agree.
Gingerbread man more memorable than your everyday good wrestling promo.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. And I agree with you 1,000%. I think he's losing some steam, but he certainly hasn't lost popularity. But I also think, this feud it's different when the challengers are not super seasoned faces when it comes to the crowd. Ricky Saints is pretty brand new to the main roster crowd. And Carmelo was recently the U.S. champion like Sami Zayn was. But WWE, in my opinion, has not done enough leaning into the history between Carmelo and Trick. And I feel like they could do this feud so much more service if they leaned a little bit more into that. Maybe we get some video packages going into, I'm assuming Night of Champions is where a triple threat would happen if it happens. Yeah. That they do a little something to kind of point to a bit of this history to kind of give it a bit more weight. But I do feel like Trick is still that dude. And I still think that the crowd absolutely loves him. We just got to get through this feud. I don't feel like this feud has all of the steam that it should have for someone at Trick's height. And I think the dance partners that he was dancing with on his way to the United States Championship was just a bit higher on the tier list for WWE. And so it had a little bit more shine, a little bit more spotlight on Trick. I agree he's not as prominent front and center as the Gingerbread Man stuff, but he just needs to interact with some new faces. He needs to interact with some new faces. I would love to see him do some stuff with LA Knight. I feel like he and LA Knight would play so well off each other in promos, but LA Knight is hovering on the call up. I feel like he's like right there. He's right there on the ancillary edge of the bloodline story, but I don't feel like he's going to be pulled into the centerpiece of it. And I don't know. I feel like that kind of sucks for him and that he could be doing some really great work with somebody like Trick. But
yeah. I mean, I'd love to. I think that'd be definitely something to see, but you're right. Not at the time being for sure, but Well, yeah, we'll see. I think this triple threat, this interaction has legs. It has a potential to be a really good match and maybe an angle that keeps going, but we'll see. It could be a good launching platform for Ricky Saints. It could be a good relaunch platform for Carmelo Hayes, but we'll just have to see. I mean, they've got an opportunity here, so hopefully one or both of them will seize it.
They do. I'll be honest. I think they need to do something with Ricky Saints' interest music. Like I don't understand who is doing in charge of the music currently. What is the music group that's handling the music now?
I think it's still Def Rebel, isn't it?
If it is, I'm sometimes wondering if, some people come in and they just pull stock bin music, out for them, and it's like, yeah, this is what we got. Because I don't know, man. We did a whole episode, ladies and gentlemen, about entrances that you'll never get to see. But the entrance matters so much. And I feel like his music is just so uninspired. I feel like it's so uninspired, and it makes the talent work against the uninspired entrance. And it's like you've already got an uphill battle trying to make your way into the wrestling zeitgeist and the fans' attention span. To not have good music, I think it harms you. Like, for instance, I think Royce Keys, his entrance theme is good. I think the first part of his entrance theme, I don't know, it is the harmonica at the beginning. I think it so does not go with the rest of it.
I agree. I don't know. I never understand what's going on there.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something I don't know, but if he was from the South, I guess I'd get it, but he's from the Bay.
But look, if you watch all of his like promo stuff that he did prior to actually getting in the ring after the Royal Rumble, what was it, last year or this year's Royal Rumble? He was raised by, I believe, his aunt, and his aunt is from like Mississippi.
Okay.
So he spent a majority of his youth in Mississippi, right? So I get the tie. What I don't understand is mashing that together with this theme song. It's so not the right two elements of audio to put together that when I hear it versus what his theme song is, they just don't mesh. Like it's not even like a call that gets the crowd hype. I think I like his theme music. But it's like when you hear that harmonica, it's like that does not instill fear in me. When I hear that harmonica playing, it's not like, here comes Royce. It seems more like we're about to go into like a juke joint, or you know what I'm saying?
I'm with you. That the harmonica squeal, whatever we want to call it, I'm not a huge fan either.
No, I'm not, and it's like they could drop that. They could just cut that harmonica part off. And I feel like the beat by itself is strong enough that when it comes in, it would be recognizable. The harmonica, I think, just throws me off. And I'm wondering if it throws other people off as well, too. But to Royce's credit, he's come in with enough juice behind him to be inserted in a pretty decent storyline with Solo and MFT. And if I'm being honest, I wish we would get more of that each week. I wish we would get more of what's going on with Solo and MFT and Roman's desire to now break Solo and bring him into this. And I'm wondering when do we come back to that? I know we got our hands full right now with the King of the Ring stuff, but I just don't want that Solo stuff to get lost in the shuffle and just be a part of this story. Because I think that whole angle with Jacob going to, what was it, SmackDown last week to deliver a message for Roman.
Yeah.
That was such good work between Jacob and Solo backstage. That was such great storytelling beats there, where Solo is like the dude who is in the position that Jacob is in now. Like, dog, I was the right-hand man to the tribal chief. I was his enforcer. I'm doing exactly the thing that you just got voluntold to do. And serving under Roman like that ain't it. I'm never going back. I'm never going back to that spot. I got my own thing now. And you should come back over here where people are going to treat you with respect and not treat you like you're the attack dog. But, Jacob was like, I made my choice. I didn't want to do it, but I knew what I was getting into when I got into that match. I made my choice, and I'm standing with the tribal chief. That was such great storytelling. And I just don't want that element of the story to kind of be lost because we're leaning into other aspects of this Bloodline 3.0, I guess, story arc. But we'll see. Solo's just been outstanding.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it. I've sung Solo's praises.
You have?
A lot. Called him the most underrated, which I still believe. But you're right. I think we could do more with that. But I also like where we're at now. I'm not going to complain because at least we're getting, weekly developments and weekly shine with it, which I enjoy. Poor, I'm just thinking about Tama Tonga, whose gimmick now is apparently, hey, remember New Japan? Because we did it with Shinsuke a couple times, and now we did it with Finn. So Tama Tonga is just the guy, like, if you've been in Japan, Tama Tonga is going to be like, hey, remember Japan? He doesn't say it, but that's what the segment is.
Honestly, dude, I like it because I feel like it's leading to something that could be fun.
Well, I thought it was with Shinsuke, and then it didn't.
But now we got Finn there too. Right? And if we lean back into what's been happening with MFT, because I hope WWE hasn't moved away from this either. But last time we were checking in on an MFT-centric story, Tama and Solo were not always gelling on the same page. I feel like they were trying to get it together, but Solo was very much super duper, way too much invested in the Wyatt Six and that lantern. And Tama had to make him see reason because it was destroying MFT. And so give the lantern back. You gave it to the Wyatt Six. You gave it back to him. And look what happened. The second you give it to them, they left. They left WWE. Like, you could have solved this problem a long time ago. That's what we should have done when we were wrestling them. We should have just gave the lantern to Uncle Howdy.
There you go.
And we could have been done with that like 3 matches earlier. But I like the interactions. I enjoy the callbacks. I wouldn't be super interested, I think, off the top of my brain, to see Finn go right back into some faction. But the idea of like Tama and Shinsuke and Finn maybe being in some like loose alliance where that's like they watch each other's back because of this previous connection. Good Lord, don't bring he retired. Never mind. I was gonna say don't bring AJ Styles around in the mix because now you're really touching on some stuff. But
hey, they can rehire the Good Brothers. They're always employed. You never know.
They may still be employed. They may still be employed just working behind the scenes. They seem like the type. But I don't want to see the Good Brothers on TV no more. Like, I don't want to see them. Their matches to me were not inspired. And we got enough new talent. Bring up some more people from NXT. That's what I want to see. Where's Blake Monroe, by the way? I'm tired of seeing her talk.
Well, she's talking some more. Who was she talking about this week? Charlotte?
I believe she was talking about Charlotte. Because it was last week, it was Tiffany, right?
It was Tiffany, and I thought they were doing, a Tiffany feud. But yeah, she was talking about Charlotte this week.
She's talking about all the blondes.
Seemingly.
She's talking about all the blondes. She hasn't talked about Liv yet.
She was saying you're right. The one thing I really do like on SmackDown is this the Chelsea Green Tiffany stuff. I think that's a very fun pairing that has a lot of potential. Obviously, we've talked about how much we like Chelsea, and I think everyone likes Chelsea, obviously. But yeah, that's been real fun stuff. I think that's a good pairing. I think it can really help Tiffany develop a different side of her character that will serve us well.
Yep.
And it lets fans just cheer for Chelsea and let Chelsea be silly, which is what she's the best at, I think.
Oh, I agree. It's great to keep Chelsea Green on camera because the fans love her. And she is a great worker. And she's proven to the WWE that she can carry a title. I just want Chelsea Green to be included in Money in the Bank. Like, I want her to be included in Money in the Bank. And wait, so they had a tournament. No, get rest right. They had a tournament to determine who the number one contender, the finals would be to be the inaugural U.S. champion. That's how she got it.
Yes.
They need to have her in a Money in the Bank. She needs to win, and she needs to carry the briefcase. I think Chelsea would be the most entertaining Money in the Bank winner that we've seen in years. I think just the hype around her, I think the fans would love to see her actually win. And the idea of her cashing in on someone, I would love to see them play the angle where they don't take Chelsea seriously. Because nobody ever does. Nobody ever takes her seriously. She's buddying up right now with Tiffany. And yeah, Tiffany's kind of playing it like, okay, Chelsea, right? Like, all right, like you're cool. Just like stay over there just a little bit. Nobody ever takes her seriously. And I would love the idea that Chelsea decides she wants to enter Money in the Bank. Nobody takes her seriously. She wins it. Nobody takes her seriously. And then Chelsea cashes in and you give her a top of the card title run, if however long you want to do it. But yeah, if there's a bigger Chelsea Green fan than me, please send us an email. Let me know what you think, because I love me some Chelsea Green. I know Skeena loves some Chelsea Green, and Chelsea Green, in my opinion, deserves everything. You should give her the world because she deserves it. So your boy Danhausen.
Yes.
So let me first say,
I'm loving all this.
Oh, I'm loving it too. I'm loving it too. I like WWE always needs to have some premium top quality comedy acts. And I think Danhausen is a perfect person to fill this role alongside your R-Truth. I think he just does his own thing. I love the fact that Miz got, what did he get, electrocuted?
Yes, he touched some stuff in Danhausen's little lair and got electrocuted, and now he can just
he can only say his catchphrases.
His previous catchphrases, yes.
He can only do his previous catchphrases. And then this past week, after Danhausen takes American Monies from Los Garza and takes jewelry from Matt Cardona, I guess Kit Wilson gets himself shocked as well.
Yes,
he was twitching out on the ground.
Miz in there, yeah.
He was twitching out on the ground. So now I'm assuming we're going to get Miz and Kit as Frankenstein monsters for Danhausen.
I'm into it.
I'm loving all this. I'm loving all this.
Especially Miz is just doing the old the slapstick electrocuted hair.
Yeah,
just standing straight up.
Dude, it's freaking great, man. Like I did not think that I was going to enjoy Danhausen as much as I did, and I will be the first one to admit that though I was very critical of the way they brought him in, I thought it was a bit of an overplay. Danhausen fits perfectly into the WWE roster. And, I think as long as he continues to help sports teams win real life championships, the man is going to have a home at the WWE. Because, the Knicks are certainly on top of the world right now. And that didn't happen until he removed that curse. So, New York should have had Danhausen at that celebration that they had.
At the parade, yes.
He should have been front and center. But, I think as long as you pay him a good amount of American monies, he should be good to go. This match between Rey Fenix and Axiom was freaking amazing. Mm-hmm. This was an amazing match. So I got to give it to Axiom because I didn't realize that he was not trained in like lucha libre.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. And obviously a mask does not denote you being lucha, obviously. But I guess I just haven't seen much of Axiom outside of his tagging with Nathan Frazier to really get a real feel for what his style is. But this match was very, very good. And to be fair, I think, he took a couple nasty bumps from Ray in this match. But I mean, Rey Fenix is freaking world class, dude. And Axiom held his own. I would love to see Axiom do a little bit more in AAA. I think he would get a lot of shine there. And I think the crowd would absolutely gravitate to him. But yeah, another good match. SmackDown had some good matches. They're just not super. They're not super noteworthy.
Right.
Like
they don't. There's not a lot of consequences right now. Like it seems like, yeah, the match happened. The match was good, but what's it mean?
yeah,
Beyond the matches that are, King and Queen of the Ring matches. Like I think the Paige and Brie Bella wrestled Fatal Attraction and just they beat them. Like what does that mean?
yeah.
I would have rather had some sort of promo segment or something like between them. Like let them flex the character, let them build to the match or further the feud. But they just had a match and somebody won, and there you go.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And I never thought I would be saying the words, I need Nikki Bella to come back.
Oh,
But
come on now.
I don't mean that disrespectfully, but it's just not something that
It was
I ever thought. Was it? Like I never thought I'd be saying that. That's honest. I never thought I'd be clamoring for Nikki Bella to come back. But I want Nikki Bella to come back now because I desperately need Brie Bella and Paige to end.
Yeah, like we've both spoken a lot about how we want Paige to be doing something more and of consequence.
Yes, we really need that. Like this is just. I'm just gonna shoot a straight, cowboy. Like this is boring.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not doing much for me either.
It's very boring. And it's just paint by numbers with these matches. You know what I'm saying? It's just building to the Paige hot tag. And at the end of the match, Brie does something to help the team win. You know what I'm saying? That's slightly underhanded, but you give them the benefit of the doubt because they're the face tag team, I guess, against the proven heels of Fatal Influence. Like, it's just a little bit boring. And I feel like we need Nikki to come back because we need Brie to turn on Paige so that we get something happening in this feud. I would love to see a Nikki Bella versus Paige match in 2026. That's a crazy sentence to say, but I would love to see that because once we get there, that means we're moving past this. And I really need Paige to interact with some of the other talent that's on this roster.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's see. What else?
I mean, that we pretty much covered.
I think we covered just about
SmackDown
everything.
And a lot of Raw. The one thing I do want to mention is we had some more Gable stuff.
Oh, yes.
And we're reintroducing Chad Gable, who gives Maxine and her new boo, Austin Theory, a pairing I still have very high hopes for. He gives Maxine such a disapproving look.
He sure did.
Look. The old disappointed dad look. But what I loved, and I don't know if I like this ironically or unironically, but I guess it doesn't matter right now, is pretty much everything else that happened with Chad Gable. He comes out to the most like on the nose, ridiculous, like 80s babyface music. I feel like his new music is just so on the nose that it's like of what they're trying to do. And I'm yet to decide whether or not I like it because it's ridiculous or I like it because it's actually good, or I don't like it and was just laughing at it. But that was certainly something. And then for Penta and Dragon Lee and Ray to like just give him did they all just like look at him and just give him the thumbs up? But it was just like, okay, that was a lot. Like, we get it. I was like, I get it. Like, we don't need to. It was just all that was so like on the nose and heavy handed for me.
It is.
And I don't know, like I said, I don't even know if it worked for me or not. But I know it was very heavy-handed.
Yeah, for me, it was just there. Like, it was just there. So let's first touch on Chad Gable's new theme music.
It's a lot.
To me, dude, the word for tonight is uninspired. Like, it just, the on-the-nose aspect of it, in my mind, is very akin to the mashing up of the two disjointed parts of Royce Key's theme song, right?
Yeah.
Hey, he's got the South element. Let's put the harmonica in there. But then he's also from, Southern California. So let's give him the hip hop because that's what he's going to resonate with. And let's just mash them together. Like, it feels uninspired. Like, you had an idea, but the approach That's maybe it is. The approach to what you're trying to convey is uninspired. I get what you're trying to do with Chad Gable. You're trying to give him the quintessential babyface redemption run, right? And I think he deserves it. I think he did a great job with the mask versus match. They won't let that die now. Like WWE is going to run that into the ground. And it was a wonderful, incredible match. But do I think WWE knew what they had in their hand before that match went over the way it did? Absolutely not. I think that match went over the way that it did, and WWE was like, oh, snap, this actually hit. Let's milk this. Because they talk about it every single freaking week, and now they're auctioning off the mask, right? They're just leaning into this. And look, more power to...
I just can't get over the shot of Gable across the ring from the Luchadors. And it may have been just Dragon Lee, but I feel like in my head, all three of them just, gave him the thumbs up. I'm like, we get it. We get it. Like,
you've got our seal of approval now.
Yeah.
But there's one more person you got to apologize to. Who is it? I'm assuming it's his Alpha Academy. I'm assuming it's Alpha Academy. I would assume
not Maxine. He gave her that dirty look.
Well, listen, him apologizing and then versus him approving of stuff, two very different things. I think he could try to bring himself back into their not good graces, but apologize for the way he treated them, but be disapproving of Maxine's new boy toy in Austin Theory, which is probably going to lead to a feud between Austin Theory and Chad Gable. Because as I stated, if Bronson Reed is not cleared to pick up the slack for Logan Paul, which they brought Logan Paul back, even though he's not wrestling.
With an arm brace.
They brought him back. Why? Because Braun Breaker ain't going to be dealing with them tag team championships. I guarantee you those tag team championships are going to get defended so little. They're going to get defended so little. They're going to be a prop around the shoulder of Austin Theory.
Who would you want him to even defend him against? Otis and Tozawa?
Nobody. I don't want them to defend against anybody. I want them to unify those tag team belts so that you get more competition with them.
I agree.
You know what I mean? As long as you keep them separate, you're always going to run into a situation like this where somebody goes down or you don't have anything on deck to run storyline wise. They're just going to become props in the background of a story that does not revolve around the tag team championships. And that's essentially what they are now. You were running on fumes when Logan was healthy, but now he's injured and you have no one to bounce his tag team championship off of right now. And so now it's just going to sit around the waist of Austin Theory as he flirts with Maxine. Braun Breaker's like, dude, I subbed in that one match because it was contractually obligated based on what Paul Heyman put in there, because he said the Vision are the tag team champs, not Logan Paul and Austin Theory. But I'm not doing that. I got bigger fish to fry. And so it's just going to sit around on the shelf. I would love them to just unify those titles. But I think you go into a little program with Chad Gable and Austin Theory behind the Maxine stuff. And then maybe Maxine, I would love Maxine to just leave Alpha Academy and just give her a heel run where she's like the girlfriend to the bad boy.
That's what I'm hoping it becomes.
Me too. I'm hoping she becomes the girlfriend to the bad boy who's with the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
And
maybe that's what they're doing. At least I hope so.
Same here.
So I guess Cody and Gunther are wrestling as we speak for the title.
Well, listen, we're finna wrap this up because I told you this was going to be a tight one today. But Skeena, give me your takeaway for wrestling this week, from SmackDown to Raw, anything in between. What's your takeaway for this week?
I love Danhausen, unashamedly. Like that, it was so like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just so unk status now that bit worked for me, but like it just did.
I think my takeaway for this week is, if you feel like there's a lull happening right now, this was to be expected. You always kind of run into this lull after WrestleMania. SummerSlam is going to be on the way. They're going to start building to some big angles surrounding the tent poles, which is, I think, Oba, Brock, Roman, Seth, Cody, Gunther, whatever's going to be surrounding those. But some of these stories are going to probably come to a head around SummerSlam. So, let's just wait. Just be patient. I guarantee you Night of Champions is going to deliver some story beats, I think, that are going to really move some things forward for where we're going to be headed into SummerSlam, because that's the next destination. So if you are here and you are enjoying what you're listening to, I thank you for showing up. Skeener, please let everyone know where they can tune in to the Lariat Lounge, where they can get our merch, where they can check us out on the socials, all the good stuff.
You want to come right back here and check out the Lariat Lounge. If you love hanging with us, we love hanging with you. Find us on YouTube. That's the home of the Lariat Lounge. Just search the Lariat Lounge. You'll find all the shows in video and audio format, all the past episodes. That's where you'll find us live streaming, hopefully with you watching along and listening along and chatting with us for Night of Champions next Saturday. You'll find us on YouTube. Search the Lariat Lounge. Find us there. The audio podcast still goes up on all your favorite platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever else you get your shows. You will also find the Lariat Lounge. Please give us a follow on Instagram at the Lariat Lounge Podcast. You can interact with us in the DMs. That's where you know. If you follow, the stories will let you know when we're going live for the live stream. So give us a follow over there. Go get your merch. 7 great designs over at Pro Wrestling Tees. Search the Lariat Lounge on Pro Wrestling Tees. The design Everson was pointing at right there, our great new one. I got to get one myself. So please go support. Grab you some merch if you want. And as always, anything you got to get off your chest or tell or yell at us, send it at the Lariat Lounge at gmail.com.
Go pick up the Champions tee. I love that design. Skeener throwing up the double L's, always representing with the hand signed per usual. Had to make sure I got that in there. I had to channel my Mil Muertes energy for this one because that imagery of him is iconic. For Lucha Underground. So I had to pull that in there. I love that tee. I'm going to be getting one. Skeener's going to be getting one. You should get one too. And it helps support the show. All the proceeds from all the merch goes right back into the programming. So you purchase some merch, you are literally keeping the lights on over here. We genuinely appreciate you guys. But tune into some SmackDown, people. Let's see what's happening. Let's get ready for Night of Champions. Let's roll into SummerSlam. WWE, pick up the pace. We need it. From your boys, Everson, Godfrey, and Andrew Skeens. This is the Lariat Lounge. Watch yourself on the way out.